At the beginning of the story, we see a dead body lying on the garbage with a crow sitting on its mouth. Before the crow attacks his eye, the dead body stands up. As he started smoking with the lighter he had with him, he noticed that the smoke was coming out of many parts of the body instead of his nose. In fear, he picks up the shirt and sees the body, which was completely injured. But despite all this, he was alive. He tries to say something, so we notice his voice has become like a zombie in his face, which he himself was afraid of looking in the mirror. After seeing his red-blue zombie-like face, he did not take much time to know that he had become a zombie, and he does not want to live this life. So now he jumps off a cliff and tries to end himself. But zombies do not die so easily. In sorrow, he spends many days in a cave, and then one day, he becomes unconscious due to severe hunger. When he came to his senses, he found out that he had eaten a raw live rabbit, and he felt disgusted. He was not able to understand how he became a zombie. This question was bothering him a lot, and to know this, he had to find out about his past, and this work could only happen in the human world. He walks like a crooked zombie, and comes out of the forest to a town where he finds a girl's hoodie on the ground, which he had now worn. And then that girl also came here looking for her lost hoodie. As he sees her, this zombie turns his face and does not answer her, because he knew that if anyone heard his zombie-like voice, then this person would be scared of him and kill him. This girl was a crime reporter, Sonia, who says if you want the hoodie, you can keep it, but please give me my mobile phone back that is in the pocket. The zombie gives him the mobile phone. Sonia thinks that maybe he is a poor boy, that's why Sonia was giving him money. Now the next day he was hungry again. He was trying to steal eggs from the nest by hitting a stone on a tree, but he had become so weak that he could not do this work, and finally becomes unconscious again. When he regains consciousness, he was eating a living animal again, and this thing bothers him. He does not want to become a wild zombie, and he also had to know his past. To know his past, he had to be frank with humans. He could do this only when he behaved like humans, and for now, his voice and his walking style were not like humans at all. That's why he gets at SLF busy in training to become like humans. He goes to an old gym in town and starts practicing walking on the treadmill. At first, he was having a lot of trouble, but after a little effort, he had learned to walk like humans. In the next scene, he practices by putting a stick in his mouth and speaking. He was able to speak alphabets while controlling the zombie. Now he was able to speak like humans. With the help of a book, he learns to hold a chopstick and learns the etiquette of eating and drinking. After that, finally, now he started behaving like humans. He used to arrange clothes by stealing them from the town, and to live, he had made a graveyard his house. One day, he sees that a man has killed another man and dropped him from the cliff. The zombie goes to the cliff to check the man whether he is alive or dead. For now, the man was alive. The man gives the zombie a key and then dies. The zombie makes a grave for the man and checks his bag. From a visiting card in the bag, he finds out that this man was a detective named Kim. On this card, the address of his office was also written, where now the zombie decides to stay for a few days. Looking at this place, it seemed that no one has lived here for many years. But there was a lot of food in the fridge, which the zombie eats, because he is very hungry. But he is a zombie, and he was not able to digest this human food. He vomits a lot at night. He understands that he will only be able to eat raw meat. To buy it, he needed money, that's why he starts packing pizza. During this, a call comes on the phone of Detective Kim. He was getting a mission to find a dog. The zombie did not want to get into any such problem. But then he thinks that if I work instead of Detective Kim, I will meet a lot of people, and so it will be easy for me to know my past. Now he starts preparing to go out. First of all, he had to hide his zombie face. For this, he uses makeup, wears Detective Kim's clothes, and when he goes on a mission, he finds out that the dog he has to find, his owner is a small boy who was only giving him a penny in return for his work. In anger, the zombie scolds the child, and in the meantime, his aunt comes from behind, who is no one else but Sonia. Seeing her, the zombie running away from here, and Sonia grabs someone's helmet and hits him on the head from a distance. Due to this, the poor zombie was also unconscious. Sonia quickly comes to him and checks his heartbeat, which was not working. Does that mean he died? Thinking this, Sonia calls the ambulance, but after a few minutes, he stands in the ambulance and scares everyone. Sonia quickly takes him to the hospital, where he cleverly runs away. He was very hungry now. He was going to eat a man, but then he comes to his senses. Then he sees a dog nearby. He is sitting in front of him to eat him, so he feels pity for this dog too. Who did this good zombie eat? He was sitting at home hungry. That's when he hears the announcement that he will get free soup somewhere. When he reaches there, he finds out that the free soup is over, and now if he wants soup here, some zombie-like people are dancing here for the promotion of this hotel. He will have to dance too. He danced so well. Now it was time to get soup. Leaving the soup, he goes to the kitchen and starts eating raw meat. Seeing this, the chef here shouts. We see that Sonia and her other detective friend were also in this hotel who was coming to him to kill the zombie, but the poor guy gets beaten up by the zombie. The zombie is looking very crazy right now. He runs away and goes to the forest to escape from all this. Now, as the zombie mood inside him is a little less, he starts coming back to the human state. So he decides to come back to Detective Kim's office, where he sees the news of the death of a child on the way. Seeing this girl, he doesn't know what happened. He gets so angry that he starts hitting the screen. Then, coming over his anger, the poor guy was sitting in the office. That's when the owner of Detective Kim's house comes here. She had come to ask for rent. Now the zombie was living here, so he had to give the rent to the zombie. That's why he needed money. When he is thinking of making money, he remembers that once Sonia had come to his office because Sonia had hurt him. Sonia don't want a Detective Kim, who is now a zombie, to file a case against Sonia. She had brought a settlement agreement, but the zombie tore that agreement. Now the zombie is looking for the same agreement and thinks that now I will ask for $1 lakh. I will solve all my problems. When he was going to talk to Sonia, he sees that someone is kidnapping Sonia like a hero. The zombie comes in the way of those kidnappers' car. He saves Sonia and brings her to his office. Here he tells Sonia that you had hit my head with a helmet that day. I have a severe head injury because of which I am not able to do my detective work well. Now I need a settlement amount of $1 lakh. And here Sonia makes a sad face and says, I don't have any money. If you want, I can be your assistant and do all your work too without money. After hearing all this, he tells Sonia to get up and leave. Before he takes Sonia out of the house, an old client of Detective Kim comes here. She is a huge actress who wants to find her daughter through Detective Kim, who is now a zombie. She was also giving her a heavy amount in return for this work. Before the zombie answers her, Sonia says, okay, we will do this for you. Sonia now asks her some important questions, like where did you meet your daughter for the last time? What was her interest then? So that she can easily find out. Sonia herself was a crime reporter. That's why she had a little experience of all these things. The zombie who was sitting next to her, he understands that if he has to earn money from this detective work, then he will need Sonia. So finally, he agrees to make Sonia his assistant. Sonia starts the investigation, and she suspects a meditation center. Everything was fine here during the day, but at night we see that a cult group to make all the children of this meditation center a part of their cult group, along with giving them some chemical substances they also use to get them to work. To stop all this, Sonia sits in a drum and enters this center at night. Here he also finds the girl he was looking for, means the daughter of the actor. When Sonia was going out of this center instead of this girl, she saw the cult leader who discovered that Sonia had found out the truth. His man is going to catch Sonia and kill her, but from behind, the zombie uses the cards like a knife and kills her. After it, the leader was going to kill Sonia with his sharp stick, but as time goes by, the zombie also comes between the two, with which Sonia is saved. That sharp stick stabbed the zombie's stomach, but the zombie was not feeling the pain. He was going to kill her by holding the cult leader's neck in anger. That's why Sonia screams and stops him, and in a little while we see that the cult leader was caught by the police. Finally, Sonia and the zombie had completed their mission. When Sonia comes to the zombie's house to congratulate him, she is scared to see the zombie without clothes, because there were big holes in his body. How could this happen? Was she thinking that Detective Kim was a zombie? Sonia quickly opens her laptop and starts searching for zombies, and here Sonia's brother tells her that there are really zombies in this world. Now Sonia remembers something old. She understands why she could not hear his heartbeat when she hit the zombie's helmet that day, and how he tolerated the cult leader's attack to save Sonia, and he didn't even hurt. He didn't hurt because he was a zombie. She tells this to her brother, but her brother doesn't believe this at all. Now Sonia goes to the zombie's house while securing herself properly. Here she tells the zombie that whatever work I did for you, you give me my money politely and I will leave from here. The zombie picked up to take her money. Here Sonia starts having severe stomach pain. She falls there. Sonia thought this zombie was going to eat her, but the zombie had brought her to the hospital. After coming to consciousness, when Sonia finds herself alive, she understands that she is a good zombie who does not eat humans, and now she decides to help the zombie. Because the zombie wanted to know her past, Sonia asks him some questions, like when you came to your senses as a zombie for the first time. What did you have? The zombie gives Sonia the lighter with which he had lit a cigarette in the first scene of the story. Sonia was also given a zombie watch. She posts all these things on social media and says if anyone knows anything about these things, then contact me. After it, she gets a call from a man who said that he knows about this lighter. He calls her to a special place to meet him, but after a long time, he did not come to meet them, and this is where he meets a man. This man's name is Sean and Sonia knows him. A while ago, the girl's murder news was seen by the zombie. He was an eyewitness to the girl's murder. Before he could talk to her, he gets a call and finds out that his mother is lost somewhere. The job of finding her is taken by the zombie and Sonia. They had to work hard to find this old woman. They also found that woman in the nearby mountains. Before Sonia could save that woman and bring her from there, a wild pig comes in front of Sonia, which was very powerful. It was about to attack Sonia, but the zombie again comes to save her again. The zombie has saved Sonia, and now he has to fight this wild pig. Maybe he didn't realize the power of this pig yet. The pig had hit him here and there. In anger, the zombie stands on a cliff thinking something and calls the pig. As the pig moves towards him, the zombie was on one side, which caused the pig to fall into the ravine, but unfortunately, while falling, he also caught the zombie. Seeing this, Sonia is afraid that maybe the zombie has also died, but she sees that in a while, the zombie was bringing the pig up by tying it with a stick. Anyway, now they both come to Sean for the old woman. Sean thanks them for finding his mother. And here, Sean's mother, instead of Sean, hugs the zombie as her son and starts crying. Seeing this, the zombie realizes that maybe he too has a mother who must be waiting for him. After a while, the zombie tells Sonia that he knows the visions of the dying girl, where he also has a doll in her hand. Sonia thought that there could be a link between the zombie and the girl, but the zombie says he sees a doll with the girl in the vision. Sonia and her friend detective covered the whole case of the girl's death, but they didn't find any doll in that case. At night, the zombie hints Sonia with a picture in which the dying girl had the same doll that used to come in the zombie's visions. After that, when the detective goes to his office, he sees everything scattered there. But none of his things were here and there. Not even the money was stolen, only a lighter was stolen. The same lighter whose pic he had posted on social media and showed it to a man named Sean. He understands that Sean must have come here, and from this, he also guesses that maybe Sean knows something about his past. He goes and asks him about his past, and Sean tells him here that you killed that girl. Hearing this, he gets shocked. He feels that maybe he has become a zombie for killing that girl. After knowing all this, he didn't want to stay alive. He was going to attack his head with a drill machine and about to end himself, but because the drill machine broke, it didn't work, and on the contrary, he fell while getting a shock. After that, he decides to leave the city. On the other hand, Sonia meets the dying girl's dad. At her house, she sees a zombie in a picture of the girl. The child's dad finds out that the zombie was the bodyguard of this little girl. Finally, Sonia found out the truth of the zombie's past. She wanted to tell this to the zombie as soon as possible. But when she goes to his house, she doesn't find the zombie. She goes to his office, the zombie wasn't there either, but there were some photos of a man named Sean on the table. Thinking about it, she decides to go to Sean's house, and she also tells this to the zombie on the message. The zombie wanted to stop her from going to Sean's house, but there was no signal in his phone, and now to save Sonia from Sean, the zombie comes to his house. On the other hand, it is shown that Sean and his wife had kept Sonia captive, where they had also told Sonia the truth that both of them had killed that little girl. Sean now tells his wife to kill Sonia too, and he goes out of the house. When Sean's wife comes to kill Sonia, Sonia opens her rope very cleverly. She fights with this girl here, and also hits her eyes with a spray lying nearby, and escapes from here, where she also finds a zombie outside. Sonia tells the truth to the zombie in a hurry that actually Sean and his wife are the ones who killed that little girl. You were actually the bodyguard of that girl. After Sonia ran away, Sean found out that now he is not safe at his house. He tries to run away from here with his wife, but in the meantime, the police surround his house. When his wife was inside the house, the police arrest her, and in helplessness, Sean has to leave his wife here and run away. But Sean decides to take revenge for this. He messages the zombie and calls him to a deserted place, and says there is a gift in the car for you, with which you will know about your past. As the zombie opens the door of this car, the car blasts. Sean thought that he died, but Sean does not know that he is a zombie, and he can never die. But from this incident, the zombie has finally remembered his past. He remembers that he was the bodyguard of that little girl, and when Sean kidnapped him on Christmas Day, the zombie who was a human at that time, went to save the girl from Sean. Sean at that time made him unconscious from there and brought him to a trench, and shot him in the stomach and dropped him in the trench. The bullet mark was still in the zombie's stomach. After remembering all this, the zombie stands up. He now comes to Sean to kill him. He was asking him while beating him that, "Tell me, why did you kill that girl that day?" But Sean does not tell him anything and shoots him. Sean thinks that this boy must have died this time, but this zombie gets up again and stands in front of him. Despite shooting repeatedly, when this boy does not die, Sean decides to shoot this boy in the head this time. And if he had shot him in the head, then this zombie would have died too. But this time Sean's mother comes in the middle. The one who saved this zombie calls the zombie Min-ho, and the zombie remembers that his real name is Min-ho, whom Sean was calling his mother until now was actually Min-ho's mother. The zombie had now killed Sean in the anger of his mother's death. The next day, Min-ho's mother's funeral is shown. After that, Min-ho meets Sonia and tells her that there is no need to come to the detective's work, because I am leaving the city now. He had left all the money he had earned in the name of this detective in his office. He had not kept the money he needed and food with him, and because he was very hungry, he was now in his zombie mode. He was about to attack a man, but fainted due to hunger. When he came to his senses, he was in his detective office. There was a lot of chicken in front of him. He was afraid that he had killed a person, and then Sonia comes to him and tells him that when you are hungry, you get out of control, and this is your zombie nature on which you need to get control, and in this, I will help you. Sonia puts a chicken in front of him, ties him to a chair, and says you will stay here for 3 days, and will control yourself. You will not eat this chicken. Sonia was keeping an eye on him while sitting outside the office, and after about 30 to 32 hours, Min-ho was in zombie mood. Sonia notices from outside that when Min-ho comes in zombie mode, he gets a lot of strength. He unties himself with a rope and starts eating all the chicken like an animal. Now he sees Sonia and moves forward to eat Sonia, but Sonia is going back and forth. Before Min-ho eats Sonia, Sonia gets a frying pan lying below which she hits on his head and makes him unconscious. When he comes to his senses, Sonia tells him that he has become very dangerous in zombie mood, and now she discovered the secret of controlling him. She shows him a frying pan and tells him that staying in this office will be better for you and other people. In this way, Min-ho decides to take the identity of Detective Kim again and tells Sonia that it is worth thinking about who killed Kim that day. Sonia had already researched this. She says Kim did not have a family. He had gone to his dad's grave and was killed by a man named Napin. He is still in jail for disposing of illegal chemical substances on the mountain. It is shown that that man has come out of jail. He has found out that Detective Kim is still alive, but he killed Detective Kim. He now tells some other detectives to keep an eye on these fake detectives instead of Kim, i.e. Sonia and Min-ho, here to investigate Kim's murder case. These people come to the salon where Kim came last time. It is found that Kim was researching on a man named Dr. No, who does various experiments on animals in his hospital. When these people go to the doctor's clinic, Min-ho recognizes the doctor that this man had killed Kim. Here, the detective behind Min-ho and Sonia tells the doctor that this man has come to your clinic, after which, the doctor challenges this detective to kidnap Min-ho. This detective does a lot of work. He sets up electric traps, sends so many people to Min-ho's house. He goes and fights with him, but every time, he failed to catch Min-ho, so he tells Doctor, "No, take your money. I can't do your job." Here, he tells the doctor that he doesn't look like a human. He even attacked me to eat me like an animal. I even tore his heart and he still didn't die. The doctor was happy even though his work was not done, because at least this detective brought Min-ho's DNA. And from DNA, he knows that Min-ho is a zombie. After which, the doctor goes to Min-ho's office wearing a mask. There, he makes Min-ho unconscious by dropping a chemical. He picks it up and brings it to his lab. He has now started some experiments by removing blood from his veins. Min-ho asks, "Why are you doing such a dangerous experiment?" The doctor replies, "I loved Mai so much, but then she died and I couldn't live without it. That's why after many experiments, I made a medicine which brought her back to life not as a normal human, but as a zombie. I started the experiment again, so that I can turn my wife from a zombie to a human again, and my experiments were discovered by Detective Kim. Detective Kim also found out about the man with whom I used to dispose my illegal chemical substances. I was compelled to end him. The doctor didn't know that where he had disposed his chemical substances, Min-ho's body was also there, and because of the effects of those chemical substances, Min-ho, who was dead, also came back to life as a zombie, just like Dr. No's wife. Here it is shown that Sonia traces Minho's location and reaches Dr. No's clinic, but the clinic was locked. She notices that when the electricity meter is running, it means there is someone inside. Then Sonia goes to Dr. No's clinic and reaches the lab where Dr. No has kept his zombie wife with Minho. There were the detectives through whom Dr. No kept an eye on Minho and Sonia. Actually, they also found out about Dr. No's wife becoming a zombie. That's why Dr. No tied them up here. Sonia first opens both of them, and then she goes to open Minho's rope. Meanwhile, Dr. No's zombie wife stands up, but before she does something to Sonia, and again Minho saves Sonia. Now, in the language of zombies, he was trying to explain something to Dr. No's wife, but in the meantime, Dr. No comes here with a gun. He tells his wife to eat all of them, and now the zombie attacks the other detectives. Here, Minho tries to steal the gun from the doctor, and in the process, Minho fires the gun. The doctor's zombie wife head hits a bullet, and she dies on the spot. After seeing this, the doctor becomes sad once again and was sitting with his wife, and as the opportunity came, Sonia called the police. The police take the doctor away, and finally, they think that they have solved the murder case of Detective Kim. But now these people don't know about the big problem to come. The police car in which Dr. No was in had met with an accident. Dr. No had taken his own made medicine, because of which he became a zombie after his death. As they know this, they set up a trap to catch Dr. No. They steal his dead wife from the morgue, but Dr. No was much smarter than they thought. Instead of going after his wife, he came straight to Minho's house, where he didn't even attack Minho, but picked up Sonia. Before he picked up Sonia, a detective friend of Sonia comes and points a gun at him, but Dr. No is not scared at all, because he knows that he is a zombie, and he won't die from these small bullets. Dr. No now cleverly takes the gun from his hand. Before he could shoot Sonia or anyone else, Sonia takes the gun from Dr. No's hand, which Minho had already caught. If Minho wanted, he could have shot Dr. No in the head, but Dr. No knew that Minho is a merciful person, and his thinking was right. It is shown that the same two detectives who were supporting him come here with 4 masks. Everyone wears masks, and the chemical made by Dr. No, which can make zombies unconscious, smells Dr. No. Dr. No falls unconscious, after which these 4 take off their masks. A boy goes to check Dr. No whether he is fainted or just faking it, but suddenly Dr. No catches this boy. Dr. No was about to cut this boy's throat, and to save this boy, Minho shoots Dr. No's head with his gun and kills him. After this, he was sad because he hoped that Dr. No could make him a human through his experiments. His hope was broken. Sonia tries to encourage him, but he says to Sonia, he will not become a fake human between humans. After this, he goes very far, and Sonia continues her detective work. The scene cuts, and the scene a year later is shown when Sonia gets an invitation for a Halloween party. Sonia is ready to go because she might find Minho here, and according to her thinking, she sees Minho in a white suit sitting in the middle of the party. Both of them come close, and they come to know that someone is murdered in this party, whose case was to be solved by Minho and Sonia. That means they met once again. If you like the story, give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.